Dr. Walt Jessen, who lives in Los Gatos, California, thought that when he grew up, he would be either a comic, an artist, a detective, a monk, or a psychotherapist. He never guessed that he'd be all of them. When he was in college, his studies focused especially on painting before switching to psychology, stepping away from the canvas for 40 years by becoming a licensed clinical psychologist in private practice. When he again picked up the paintbrush just a few years back, he found that his artistic voice was profoundly different.
Back in the 50s and early 60s, my big passion was to become an artist. I dropped out of school for a semester and moved to San Francisco. Got myself an apartment right on Pine Street. It had been a store at one time, so I had a great big window in the front. So I painted. And my art was very passionate and very quick. So I could do a painting in about an hour. And then I lit the place up at night and had a gallery. I hung out in North Beach, and Ferlinghetti was doing his poetry, and it was lots of art and lots of music, and it was a very, very powerful time. What I sold really were paintings of San Francisco. People loved paintings of San Francisco, and my motives had more to do with capturing interesting shots of the city. It wasn't open to beauty per se. I think now I'm much more open to beauty, much more captured by light. So that's changed a lot. But the stuff I did of the city, I think was very good and very interesting and very, very fun. And but I was younger. And then I dropped out of the art scene for 40 years and started to pick it up again. And I've noticed that with the impact of my work in meditation and my interest in listening to my art, being aware of what my art has to say to me. Nowadays it takes me longer to do a painting, but not that much longer. I mean, it takes hours, of course. But it's more of a dialogue. I would say that there's more joy in it. And that comes not only in terms of process, but also outcome.
More resonance?
More resonance, yeah. I think before it was more ecstatic, that kind of thing.
In Walt's early years as a psychologist, he worked with psychotics, mostly women, and because their therapy involved a lot of play, Walt would engage in high-drama role-playing, where he would out-crazy them, making it uncomfortable for them to carry on their delusion. This free-form dialogue became a creative exercise in itself.
Now, here's a very interesting twist. When I did my PhD dissertation, I had these women take this test of self-actualization. A high percentage of them came out well in the self-actualizing range. It tweaked me big time because I thought there was a lot more going on here on a psych ward than just somehow warehousing or quote-unquote treating women that were nuts.
That sounds like a great experience, actually.
I don't know how to put it other than to say it was exhilarating, and it was a great teaching, and I saw that I could play and help people at the same time. One of the things I love to do is have a question in my head that requires an answer. And this is not a simple question. Actually, on the surface, they may be simple questions, but a question that will just take me a whole year to figure out. And it shapes how I see things, how I think about things, how I talk about things. So there's certainly an inner dialogue that goes on there, but a readiness to pick up stuff that really changes my process and answers my questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you don't say, here's how.
Right, right.
You say, I wonder how.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's a muse, I think the muse exists within dialogue. I don't think it exists just as some sort of whatever. It's more like a Zen koan, where it requires that you get out of your head in a way that's remarkably different, and you don't know about how the hell to do it. So you struggle with it for a long time.
So how does that play out?
You know, I love to sketch. So when I go to the city, and I can be out there in the street just doing very fast sketches of people walking, or expressions on people's faces, or a particular shadow hitting something. I'm not as comfortable sketching panhandlers as I used to be. And it's in the moment. It's totally in the moment. And I could do that all day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.